Hi, I am Michael Kourosh and welcome to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are in Santa Barbara Design Center and I'm excited to share with you an entire episode dedicated to one of my favorite topics, art. We are going to profile some of the greatest artists of all time. Please join us. To say Pablo Picasso was merely an artist may have been an insult to his lifelong body of work. He was a painter, sculptor, printmaker, ceramicist, stage designer, poet, and playwright. Picasso was born in 1881 in Spain to a middle-class family. His father was a painter of birds and game, taught at the local craft school, and curated a nearby museum. It is said that at the age of 13, Picasso painted a pigeon so beautifully that his father gave up painting in the face of his son's genius. By 16, he was sent to the Academia in Madrid to study fine arts but found classes boring and soon dropped out, preferring to visit the museums and view the works of Velázquez, Goya, and El Greco. During this time, his personal style of realism and modernism took shape. By 1900, Picasso had moved to Paris and was sharing a flat with a friend. They were so poor that Picasso burned his sketches to warm the cold flat at night. In the subsequent years, Picasso went through several periods. The Blue Period, the Rose Period, African, Cubism. Throughout his career, several motifs developed, including the Harlequin and the Minotaur. In the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War, Picasso's Guernica became a symbol of the horrors of war and is now considered one of his greatest works. During World War II, Picasso chose to stay in occupied Paris, but did not exhibit his work. When invading soldiers entered his studio, they pointed to a photo of Guernica and asked, "Did you do that?" To which he responded, "No, you did." As an alternate outlet for his creativity during this time, Picasso started writing poetry and theatrical plays. In the years after World War II, Picasso rose to worldwide fame. His art expanded to sculpture and ceramic. He was commissioned by the city of Chicago to create a 50-foot-tall sculpture for display in the downtown area. He was so excited to take on the project, he refused the $100,000 commission offered along with it. Now, a worldwide art icon, Picasso used his celebrity for financial gain and became a shrewd businessman and promoter. He appeared always as himself in several films, licensed his work, created mass market runs, lithographs, etchings, and more. If a friend of Picasso's was discovered to be in financial trouble, he often would give them a sketch with the rights to produce it. As we discussed, Picasso was an incredible businessman and a great artist, and he produced a lot of art and a lot of lithographs like this in his lifetime. So he would make 500 of these and would sell them to individuals, as like this particular one, which you can see at Santa Barbara Design Center. After a career spanning 8 decades, Pablo Picasso passed away at the age of 91 in 1973. His legacy endures, with works appearing in the greatest museums in the world. His work also commands some of the highest prices. Several original Picassos have sold in excess of $100 million. When we come back, we will take a look at another iconic artist. Stay tuned. There's more Design Santa Barbara coming after the break. Stay tuned. There is more Design Santa Barbara after the break. On this edition of Michael's Minute, I would like to talk to you about mid-century modern furniture. Mid-century modern is described as the period between 1933 and 1965, in which designers such as Eames and Nakashima used clean lines and futuristic materials to propel design into a post-war era. At Santa Barbara Design Center, you can see and feel a variety of mid-century inspired furniture, including our signature leather chairs and recliners with classical wood frames. Accent them with side tables, day beds, ottomans for a slick, artistic look. Customize these pieces to fit your home perfectly. To bring mid-century modern style to your home, please visit us at Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive Street.
Welcome to Rugs & More. We provide the West Coast with the most comprehensive collection of new, oriental, and antique rugs. Rugs are solid art investments and often become cherished family treasures. Our limitless inventory will warm up your home. Exotic or traditional, tribal or modern, our rugs weave stories through intricate patterns, compelling colors, and touchable materials. #1 in Santa Barbara for over 20 years. Visit us today at Rugs & More, 410 Olive Street in Santa Barbara.
Today on Michael's Minute, I want to talk to you about transitional rugs. Although still majority of rugs we sell, they are traditional and classical rugs, but nowadays more and more designers and the projects they have requires transitional and modern carpet. On this side, we have a very beautifully handmade rug that has classical designs from Ziegler and Company Sultanabad. On this side, we have an Uşak design. Uşak is a town in Turkey that originally made classical Turkish designs from 1,000 years to today. They're still making them. This particular one has a classical design but has all the colors of today's interior. So it's beige with a little bit of eggplant color and gray in it. To see thousands of transitional, modern, and classical rugs, come to Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive. Today I want to talk to you about chairs. Chairs come in many different styles and shapes and classical, modern, or transitional look. This particular one is called Sarah and it is a stationary chair, is a modern look. This particular one is a recliner and is leather and is a very classical look. This one is Barrack and is a swivel glider. Swivel gliders are my favorite chairs and they're addictive. And it is in a transitional look. It is not modern, it is not classical, it is in between, a marriage between them all. And my favorite one is a Santa Barbara chair. We make these out of washable linen and we make it with blend down inside of it, which is down and angel hair, most comfortable, and is a swivel. If you want to see any of these chairs in person, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center at 410 Olive. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are in Santa Barbara Design Center profiling some of the great artists in the world. Next, we will look at the works of Vincent Van Gogh. Whereas artists like Picasso and Monet had long, successful lives, Vincent Van Gogh's incredible body of work comes from just a brief 7 years period. From 1883 to 1890, Van Gogh produced some 2,100 works of art, including 860 oil paintings, most in the span of only 2 years. Born into an upper-class Dutch family, Van Gogh drew as a child, but did not pursue professional painting until he was in his 20s. After an unsuccessful career as an art dealer, Van Gogh traveled to Belgium as a Protestant missionary. After taking ill, Van Gogh returned to the Netherlands to live with his family. His brother Theo, often described as the person he held dearest in his life, became his benefactor and supported his decision to pursue art. His early sketches and painting focused on weavers and cottages in his village. As his work continued, one dealer expressed interest, but the work was deemed too dark. In 1885, Van Gogh's work was publicly displayed for the first time. No sales were made. After moving to Antwerp, Van Gogh continued to paint, spending all the money his brother sent on art supplies, even choosing to skip buying food in favor of painting. During this time, he expanded his color palette and studied other greats of the day, but signs of mental illness began to take shape. After moving to Paris to live with his brother, Van Gogh's colors became brighter. He painted the Moulin Rouge, the people of Paris, and after seeing an exhibit of Japanese art, even tried his hand at Eastern style. Once again suffering from illness, Van Gogh moved to Arles. This proved to be the site of his true artistic breakthrough. His vibrant work inspired him into a frenzy of work. In an incredibly short period of time, he produced 200 paintings and over 100 sketches and watercolors. In 1888, fellow painter Paul Gauguin visited Arles and Van Gogh sought a friendship with him. During this time, Van Gogh completed Sunflowers. Inspired by his artistry, Gauguin painted Van Gogh at work. Though they started as friends, Van Gogh and Gauguin quickly fell out of favor with each other. Van Gogh wished to be treated as Gauguin's equal, and Gauguin believed himself to be superior. After an altercation, Van Gogh suffered a severe mental breakdown and severed his left ear. This led to his hospitalization. Though committed due to his waning mental state, in June 1889, Vincent Van Gogh completed one of the most recognized paintings in the world, The Starry Night. Tragically, as his work progressed, his mental state deteriorated, and in 1890, he took his own life. During Vincent Van Gogh's short 37 years, not a single one of his paintings were sold. In subsequent years, his notoriety increased, and Van Gogh is now regarded as one of the finest artists of all time. His work has commanded some of the highest prices at auctions and adorned the walls of the world's finest art institutions, including the Louvre, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, and the Van Gogh Museum in his native Amsterdam. Here in Santa Barbara, we are proud to have a Van Gogh on display at our Museum of Fine Art. Stay tuned. After a short break, we will be back with more profiles of great artists in history. You're watching Design Santa Barbara. Today on Michael's Minute, I would like to talk to you about fabrics. Fabrics are quite essential items for your upholstery and window covering, and we have a huge selection of them. We have Durally fabrics, Fabricot, my favorite Cravat, we have our own house fabrics, and we have Ralph Lauren. For indoor-outdoor use, we have many different fabrics, and I would highly recommend you to come to Santa Barbara Design Center to see the largest selection of fabrics in town. Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive. Today on Michael's Minute, I'm gonna talk about what makes a good sofa versus a great sofa. This one is called Malibu, and this is called Malibu 2.0. What makes a difference is, for the Malibu, we use industry standard wrap, which is a polyester. For the 2.0, we use a blend of angel hair, which is a synthetic down, and down itself. On top of that, we use two different fabrics for them. For the regular Malibu, we use 100% polyester fabric, which is very long lasting and has 30,000 double rub, which is very durable. For the 2.0, we use the highest quality linen in the market. I would like to invite you to come and see these in person. Come see me at Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are profiling some of the greatest artists in history. I'm also excited to announce that these artist profiles will become a new segment in future episodes. Now we are going to look at the stunning work of Impressionist Claude Monet. Born in Paris in 1840, Oscar-Claude Monet is known as the father of the Impressionist movement. His family wanted him to work in the grocery business, but from a young age, Claude envisioned himself becoming an artist. After moving around with his family, at the age of 16, Claude returned to Paris to pursue his passion. Upon visiting the Louvre, he found fellow painters copying great masters and sought to do the same. But when he returned with his supplies, something came over him and he began painting the views out of the museum windows. When he turned 21, he was drafted into the army and sent to North Africa. There he saw light and vivid colors that later influenced his palette. After taking ill in 1862, Monet's aunt secured his discharge from the military on condition that he attend art school. Disillusioned with the traditional art schools, Monet looked to form his own style with the likes of Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Together they shared new approaches to art, painting the effects of light in plein air with broken color and rapid brushstrokes. This later came to be known as Impressionism. By 1865, Claude Monet was looking to present his work at the world-famous Salon de Paris. He envisioned the grand work titled Luncheon on the Grass, but was unable to complete it in time. Instead, he presented The Woman in the Green Dress, using his wife as a model for the first of many times. Despite his gaining popularity, during this time, Monet and his wife lived in abject poverty. He often traded paintings for essentials, and at one point his works were seized by debt collectors. When war broke out in France in 1870, Monet and his family sought refuge in England. This proved to be a pivotal moment for Claude, as he had the chance to study the works of British artists such as J.M.W. Turner, who deeply influenced Monet's use of color. After being rejected by the British art scene, Monet moved about Europe, producing work and building a catalog. By 1874, Monet and Renoir decided it was time to create an Impressionist exhibit to free themselves of the critical nature of the salon. For an admission of 60 francs or $10 today, guests could tour the exhibit of 165 paintings. All were for sale, and although attendance topped 3,500, only a few paintings were actually purchased. Think about this. At the exhibition, an original Monet valued today in the millions could be purchased for under $100. In the years following the exhibition, Claude Monet's popularity continued to rise, but the death of his wife at the age of 32 took a heavy toll on him. Renoir's portrait of Monet shows a man attempting to navigate the emotions of loss and creativity. Emerging from his grief after several months, Monet went on to produce what is considered his best work of the 19th century. After remarrying in 1892, Monet traveled the French countryside and discovered Giverny. This location proved to be a muse to Monet, and his paintings were so well received. The profits from them allowed him to purchase a home there. Seeking to shape the style of his landscape, Monet built a greenhouse and contracted 7 gardeners to maintain his property, from which he took his inspiration. He gave them daily, meticulous instructions and expanded his property as his fortunes increased. One such expansion included a pond dotted with water lilies. During World War I, Claude Monet painted a series of weeping willows for his friend and the nation of France's leader, Georges Clemenceau. These paintings were meant to represent the fallen soldiers of France. As Monet grew older, his vision began to fail him. Cataracts on both his eyes led to distinctive reddish tone in his work, and after a successful surgery to remove them, his work turned toward a bluish tone. It is now known that cataract surgery can result in higher ultraviolet vision in patients. After a long career, Claude Monet passed away in his beloved Giverny at the age of 86. He requested a small private memorial with no fanfare, and upon the death of his son, his home and gardens were gifted to the French Academy of Fine Arts. Today, Monet is known as one of the world's greatest artists. His works have broke records at auctions and are displayed around the world. Here in Santa Barbara, our Museum of Fine Art has several on display. I hope you have enjoyed this fascinating look into the great artists of history. Of course, there are more than we could ever cover in one episode, so look for more profiles like these in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and we will be right back with more Design Santa Barbara. This week on Michael's Minute, we are going to talk about rug cleaning and restoration. A fine rug is a family treasure often passed on from generation to generation. Rugs need to be properly taken care of to ensure their survival and protect your investment. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we are the foremost experts in professional cleaning, repairing, and preserving your rugs. Rugs should be hand washed every 3 to 5 years to maintain the structure. When was the last time you washed your rugs? Proper cleaning can extend the longevity of your rug, whereas steam cleaning can damage it. Restorations by Rugs and More include hand stitching, fixing fringes and sides, and reviving worn pile. For the finest restoration and cleaning, bring your rugs into Rugs and More at Santa Barbara Design Center today, 410 Olive Street.
Welcome to Rugs and More. We provide the West Coast with the most comprehensive collection of new, Oriental, and antique rugs. Rugs are solid art investments and often become cherished family treasures. Our limitless inventory will warm up your home. Exotic or traditional, tribal or modern, our rugs weave stories through intricate patterns, compelling colors, and touchable materials. #1 in Santa Barbara for over 20 years. Visit us today at Rugs and More, 410 Olive Street in Santa Barbara.
On today's Michael's Minute, I would like to talk to you about window coverings and treatments. Here's our specialist, Kara. Kara, would you kindly please tell us about the window treatment?
Absolutely. Here at the Santa Barbara Design Center, we do both hard and soft window coverings. These are our Norman shutters. And what you can do is you could partner these with our treatments. I've also seen some other of our clients partner with something a little bit more shimmery. Aside from the hard treatments, we do designer window treatments, and they come in an array of different colors. The big suggestion I have is don't be afraid of color and keep your finials and your rods very simple.
Well, thank you very much, Kara. I appreciate it. To see thousands of different window coverings, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive Street. Interior designers today, they're using a lot of contemporary and transitional rugs, and that's a segment that has been growing for us over the last few years. They come in many different natural fibers. I recommend you to get one that's hand knotted instead of hand tufted. This particular one is shiny like silk. It's made of bamboo. The other one comes in 1,200 colors, and we make it in every size and shape possible. It is bamboo and wool. And then we have this beauty that is very modern, but at the same time has colors of today's interiors. This other one is a gaby, is a traditional design, but with modern colors. If you are looking for a modern or transitional rug, please come to Rugs and More at 410 Olive, and I will be happy to help you. Today on Appraisals, we have this stunning 17th century North Italian cabinet. At the time in which this cabinet was built, Italy was fractured into several small states, including the Republic of Venice, the Papal States, and the Kingdom of Sicily. The Renaissance in Italy produced some of the world's finest art, architecture, and literature. Furniture design in this era took a turn towards the ornate. Although not as lavish as later French furniture, with gilding and other accents, one can see the Italian style developing into something grander than just function. Now we have this beautiful Northern Italian 17th century cabinet. I actually really like the colors, like the design. It is not too ornate, but it is decoratively painted. The color, the patina on it, it takes you back centuries. It is something you don't see nowadays. You don't see it in new furniture. I sell a lot of furniture. They're new. You can feel they're new. This has a soul to it that you cannot replicate. The age that goes to it has a little inscription, a little date on here. It's a 1648. It's a little bit hard to read. Has a little beautiful cross in the top. Has a little heart in the bottom. You have this beautiful bouquet of flower sprays. The opening up. What is impressive to me is this original hardware. As you can see, they hand hammered this. They have these ancient nails that you can date most furniture with. And as long as if you see a Phillips screw in it, you know that's a 20th century item. These things, the other hand, they're very old and they're original. As you can see, functional but beautiful. It's a little dragon, if you can see, and dragon is a continuous theme in my show, and I love dragons. Beautiful green, has a little lock, you open it. Inside of it has still the old patina, original lock. Inside is functional. You could use it as a bar, you could use it as a entry piece, you could store items in it. Nowadays, whoever buys this perhaps most likely will use it as a decorative item in an entrance or some beautiful corner. I have seen a lot of Italian furniture. This particular one stands out as beautiful, as a little bit of a primitive northern villages of Italy, south of Tyrol. Beautiful. I appraised this for $12,000 to $15,000 in today's market. That's today's appraisal. See you next week.